I'm looking for it. Hungry, you know what I'm saying? But the thing I'm getting out of this, Roach took the fight. It gives him a chance to really be that.
Von Davis's corner was in complete disarray during his fight against Lamont Roach. Now, his trainer Calvin Ford has addressed what caused the chaos that night. According to Ford, Davis wanted him to make a highly yet questionable decision during the fight. The situation was similar to the confusion seen in Tyson Fury's corner during his first undisputed World Heavyweight Championship bout against Alexander Usyk.
Done a lot of work, and he's a champion, What's the best for him? I'm hoping that he do what I need him to do. You know what I'm saying? You see how I ask him, are you ready? You know what I'm saying? Because I need somebody that's gonna...
In Tyson Fury's fight, he remained calm with his trainers, but his father, John Fury, created chaos by constantly shouting over Andy Lee and Sugar Hill Stewart. As a result, Fury misinterpreted their advice, which contributed to his loss. Gervonta Davis's situation was different. This time, the confusion came from the fighter himself. The match was unfolding in an unexpected way, with Davis on track to go the full 12 rounds for only the third time in his career.
I can see different levels. This time I had a chance to step back, and everybody keeps saying, they changing us. No, we ain't changed up anything.
This was unusual, considering Davis is known for finishing fights in the 7th, 8th, or 9th rounds. But this time, Lamont Roach was pushing back, and Davis wasn't in control. This raised concerns in his corner, and when his team tried to give him instructions, he argued, even shouting, "Listen to me," at Calvin Ford. His team listened, but it didn't end well. The draw with Roach could still be overturned, making things even worse. At first, his coaches avoided commenting on Davis's outburst, saying everything would be handled. But with the situation spiraling, they've now decided to address it.
Knockouts, like punishment, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes things gotta happen to make you get back to where you belong at, you know what I'm saying? And that was a good...
For Gervonta Davis and his team, this fight was expected to be just another routine night in the ring. From the moment the matchup with Lamont Roach was announced, Team Davis showed no signs of worry. Roach was a known opponent with a solid record, and while he held a title, he was seen as the smaller man in the fight.
You get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must say...
Despite being the underdog, Roach came in determined to prove himself. He controlled the fight from the outside early on, but when Davis forced him into close-range exchanges, he held his ground without hesitation. By the final bell, the crowd at Brooklyn's Barclays Center was left stunned. The fight delivered. 36 minutes of all-out action, but the winner was unclear as the judges calculated the scores. Team Davis waited patiently, expecting a favorable outcome. However, their confidence quickly faded when the result was announced. A majority decision draw.
Skillful. Both of them want to take certain chances. Some of them take chances, you know what I'm saying? We seen... It was like we was on a boat and it was just like...
For the first time in his career, Gervonta Davis left the ring without a victory. Backstage, he sank into his chair as his team, including Barry Hunter, shook their heads in disappointment. Hunter, who took the lead role over Calvin Ford for this fight, felt the judges got it wrong. He admitted Davis had a tough challenge, but from his perspective, the final rounds made the difference. "We give credit to the other side," Hunter told ESPN, "but I thought the last 2 rounds secured the win. I really believed we had it."
Nice.
Well, both of us back today was that again. Nobody won. Nobody.
On the other hand, many believe Davis should have lost the fight outright. Some even argue that referee Steve Willis should have ruled a knockdown when Davis took a knee in the 9th round. Former IBF, WBC, and WBO lightweight champion George Kambosos Jr., who has traded verbal jabs with Davis on social media, didn't hold back. Speaking to Fight Hype after a workout for his upcoming March 22nd fight against Dodd Yordan, Kambosos said, "He just had a draw and lost a lot of stock. What does he need to do? Rebuild his career." Since the fight with Roach, Davis has faced heavy criticism from nearly every corner of the boxing world.
What do you honestly think about this Davis versus Roach fight? Like, for you at 140, do you feel it's like you fighting a smaller guy at 130, 135? What's your thoughts on the move?
Both Davis and Roach have expressed interest in a rematch, while the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the controversial moment in the 9th round. The replay system failed that night, preventing officials from properly reviewing whether Davis's knee touching the canvas should have been ruled a knockdown. Had the knockdown been called, Roach would have won by majority decision, making him a 2-division world champion. Instead, Davis retained his title and kept his unbeaten record. Meanwhile, the rivalry between Davis and Kambosos continues to grow. Their feud started on social media and is fueled by mutual disrespect. Davis doesn't see Kambosos as a serious threat, while Kambosos criticizes Davis's level of competition throughout his career.
Think of the dates against Lamont Roach. Is it a big fight?
Well, I don't want to disrespect Lamont Roach. He's a very skilled fighter, super featherweight.
His career, Davis has relied on his athleticism, patience, and power to dominate opponents. But on Saturday, he faced a fighter who wasn't intimidated and absorbed his punches without much trouble. While Davis is still respected for his skills, Roach's strong performance exposed areas where opponents can challenge the WBA champion. Before this fight, only Isaac Pitbull Cruz had gone the distance with him. Now, all eyes are on Davis to see if he follows through with a quick rematch. If it happens, the key question will be whether Roach fights with more confidence but less discipline. As for Davis, it remains to be seen if he can adapt his style when needed.
He does his own show. He runs his own race, and the fans, like, no matter what, the fans will see, obviously, what the fighter's doing. The fans see what's happening, and
Davis's ring IQ is often overlooked. He's known for studying his opponents early in fights before making adjustments. But against Roach, he never seemed to find his rhythm. After the fight, Roach received plenty of praise, including from Davis's rival, Shakur Stevenson, who was so impressed that he even offered to fight Roach next. While that matchup makes sense, the rematch between Davis and Roach is the fight fans truly want, especially after Roach made people question whether Davis is as unbeatable as he seems. Meanwhile, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has weighed in on the New York State Athletic Commission's review of the controversial Davis versus Roach fight.
What are your thoughts on the draw and who you think won?
You know what, honestly, I haven't watched the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight...
Eddie Hearn doesn't believe the New York State Athletic Commission will overturn the majority draw decision, but expects a rematch to happen. Davis and Roach fought to a draw last Saturday at Barclays Center, but a key moment in the 9th round, when Davis voluntarily took a knee without a knockdown, being called, sparked an official review. According to Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite, Roach's lawyer has appealed to have the result changed to a victory for Roach, either by decision, knockout, or disqualification. Hearn acknowledged the controversy but told Fight Hype on Tuesday that he doesn't expect the commission to change the outcome.
By that, to be honest with you, I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And
Hearn doesn't believe the New York State Athletic Commission has the power to overturn the result or call for an immediate rematch. He explained that while the commission can review the fight, it's ultimately up to the World Boxing Association, WBA, which oversees the lightweight title, to make any official decisions regarding a rematch. However, Hearn is confident that a rematch will happen regardless. Everything I'm hearing is that the rematch is gonna happen anyway, he said. I think it's pretty much done. He also shared his thoughts on the 9th round controversy, stating that Davis's decision to take a knee should have been ruled a knockdown.
I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Do you think New York State overturns it?
If you take a knee in a fight and touch the canvas while punches are being thrown, it has to be ruled a knockdown, Hearn stated. He acknowledged that some people believe Davis should have been disqualified. for going back to his corner, but he disagrees. I don't buy that. I think that's just a warning, but it's still a bizarre situation. The New York State Athletic Commission's review of the incident is still ongoing, with no final decision announced yet. Meanwhile, a major storyline was somewhat lost in the aftermath of Saturday's PBC pay-per-view event in Brooklyn. The missed knockdown call by referee Steve Willis in the main event ultimately cost Lamont Roach Jr. a chance at the WBA lightweight title and what would have been a massive upset victory over Gervonta Davis.
You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win.
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, should have been the main story after delivering a stunning performance against a heavily favored opponent. Davis, who entered the fight as a 1,600 betting favorite, walked away with the first blemish on his professional record after their controversial majority draw at the Barclays Center. The New York State Athletic Commission also faced criticism for its handling of the situation. In the immediate aftermath, it was unclear why the commission failed to review the 9th round incident properly. On Monday, officials claimed a technical issue prevented them from accessing the instant replay footage in time. By failing to rule Davis's voluntary knee in round 9 as a knockdown, the commission effectively cost Roach a crucial 10-8 scoring swing. That decision ultimately denied him the victory and the WBA lightweight title. Had the correct call been made, Roach would not only have secured the biggest win of his career, but also stood to earn millions more as the defending champion heading into their expected rematch.
Say, why not? What you talking about? They like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing works.
The New York State Athletic Commission has stated that it is still reviewing the matter, but one lingering question remains. What exactly was going on with Davis? It was certainly shocking to see the 30-year-old Baltimore native struggle against a massive underdog after years of dominance, but that wasn't the most surprising aspect of the fight. Instead, it was how Roach appeared to be the physically bigger fighter despite moving up in weight. His confidence, experience, and familiarity with Davis from their shared boxing roots allowed him to deliver the best performance of his career. Roach's ability to match Davis in size and strength, combined with his fearless approach, raised serious questions about whether Davis underestimated his opponent or if there were deeper issues at play.
It's sad to say, you know, that's how boxing works. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
The biggest questions surrounding Davis weren't just about his performance in the ring, but also about his mindset and the unusual behavior he displayed before, during, and after the fight. Was this simply an off night for one of boxing's pound-for-pound best? Or has Davis lost the competitive fire and killer instinct that made him such a massive draw? Star fighters being late to media events is nothing new, especially for Davis, who was nearly 2 hours late for his 2023 kickoff press conference with Ryan Garcia. But this time, Davis took it to another level, showing up nearly 4.5 hours late to his first event with Roach in New York, and then arriving 90 minutes late to Friday's weigh-in. While Davis remained playful and relaxed throughout fight week, as is typical for him, his in-ring behavior raised alarms. On 2 separate occasions during the first half of the fight, he took his eyes off Roach to argue with referee Steve Willis, only to get caught with clean punches in return. This lapse in focus combined with his sluggish start has led many to wonder whether Davis was fully locked in or if something deeper is affecting his mindset.
You won't get too much on paper, but shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him, I was like, oh, they gonna give me a.
Prime Video cameras also captured another concerning moment: Davis yelling over the advice of his longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, in the corner between rounds. At times, he was heard screaming, "Listen to me," interrupting Ford's instructions. Then there was the uncalled knockdown in round 9, which has become one of the fight's most controversial moments. After Roach landed a series of stiff jabs, Davis began aggressively blinking his left eye before turning his back to the action and voluntarily taking a knee. He quickly stood up and ran to his corner, where Ford wiped his eye with a towel, something that, under the rules, could have been grounds for disqualification. Referee Steve Willis initially began a mandatory 8 count, but strangely stopped at 3, instead issuing a warning before allowing the fight to continue. The entire sequence has only fueled further debate over whether Davis was mentally and physically at his best, and whether Roach was unfairly denied a career-defining victory.
Let the decision win. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, here it go. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with.
Davis's explanation during the post-fight interview was unusual, and his relaxed attitude seemed surprising, especially since he had nearly lost both his title and undefeated record. As the crowd booed, it was hard to tell if he was embarrassed or just indifferent. I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and they put grease in it. So when I was sweating, it got in my eyes and burned, Davis explained. Damn, why are y'all booing? I'm just telling the truth. Look at my hair. I just got it done. But it's all good, man. You know how it is. One moment they love you, the next they hate you, and then they love you again.
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Davis, who has a mandatory rematch clause in his contract and expressed interest in using it on social media Monday, took a more humble approach while discussing his performance at the post-fight press conference. However, his comments also revealed a lack of awareness about the rules. Nobody likes a draw from a guy who usually gets knockouts, but it's cool, Davis said. If we fight again, I feel like I could do more. I should have done more. I lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't even know what round it was. Facts.
No.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on?
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught
while my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that, so I figured it was better to take a knee, Davis explained, but I didn't realize you could get disqualified. Before getting help from the corner mid-round, when the ref started counting, I was like, what the hell, but it's cool. While Davis has had tough fights in recent years, like his bouts with current welterweight champ Mario Barrios and former 140-pound title holder Isaac Pitbull Cruz, his fight against Roach was the first time he looked off his game since 2017. That year, on the undercard of the Floyd Mayweather vs. Conor McGregor super fight, Davis missed weight, lost his IBF 130-pound title on the scales, and was booed throughout an uneven performance against Francisco Fonseca, which ended in an 8th round knockout. Despite that setback, Davis went on to become a global star, and while his name has often been in the headlines for legal troubles, those distractions never seemed to affect the confident and charismatic fighter once he stepped into the ring.
But wow, my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that, so I'd rather take the knee than,
Adding to the uncertainty surrounding Davis before the Roach fight were his repeated statements about possibly retiring from boxing as soon as the end of 2025. Davis has been open about wanting to focus on his mental health and being a better father. That's why I don't want to box anymore. He told Inside Boxing Live in January, I want to do therapy, but I feel like if I do, I'd lose the fire inside me. I want to let everything go so I never think about fighting again or even getting angry. I have 2 daughters and I want them to be softer and more humble.
But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that. Or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know.
It's all about being true to yourself. You just have to be real with yourself, Davis said. Faking it. When you know you don't want to do something but keep doing it anyway, that's when something's wrong. Wanting a more peaceful life for yourself and your family is a valid and admirable reason to make a change. But when it comes to boxing, there's no worse place to be than in the ring if your heart isn't in it. The sport is unforgiving, and every fight carries risks to both physical and mental health.
But the decision I want, but we didn't get a loss here, so I felt like I won it. the last couple rounds. So it's cool. Lamont is a great fighter. Hopefully I could get that rematch because I know what I can do in a fight. But it's cool.
Davis is one of the most exciting and electrifying fighters boxing has seen in years. A bad night can happen to anyone, especially in a sport where your latest performance often defines you for better or worse. As the conversation shifts from the controversy surrounding the Davis-Roach fight to the anticipation of a high-stakes rematch, let's hope Tank is still in the ring for the right reasons, bringing the mindset and focus needed to perform at his absolute best.
Tank, how much does it hurt to have the draw on your record now? And do you think it's going to stand as some sort of like renewed motivation for you, like the guy?
The rematch seems to be coming together quickly, but there's one major hurdle. The World Boxing Association must first decide whether the fight counts as a loss or a draw. In the meantime, Gervonta Davis needs to focus on fixing the issues in his corner. For the latest updates on boxing news, big moments, and upcoming fights, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.